Good evening, good evening, good evening. Waiting on everybody to jump in. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. How's everybody doing? So, for everybody that is jumping on, do me a favor. So, if you go back into the link that's in the group, it does put a disclaimer there. They're not going to get your information or anything like that. But in order for me to see who it is or who is leaving any type of messages, you definitely will have to go and click on the link and allow StreamYard to get your information from Facebook. Once they do, then I can see who you are so I can address you appropriately. Otherwise, I won't know who is asking any questions or who is saying hello or anything like that. But for everybody that's jumping in, welcome and hello. I am logging on another platform so I can at least try to see who is commenting, at least. For the ones that did not actually click that link, I do see I got some people with me. Hey, Darnese. Hey, Nat. Let's see. Hey, Carlton. Hello. Good evening. How are you all? All right. So tonight we are going to be talking about pricing. I am still waiting on Caitlin. She was running a little bit late, but that's okay. Um, but she should be on in a minute. So we're going to get her on in a minute. By that time, we'll have a lot more people probably logged in. And then everybody will be ready to go to receive what she's going to give us for tonight, as far as what the pricing goes. Hello, Rochelle. How are you? Welcome, welcome. While we're doing that, house rules again. Let's make sure that we're going to touch, and I'll touch on these from time to time. So let's make sure we're also following the rules and announcements for house rules within the Dream Academy, within the group, which is let's respect each other and everyone, number one. Number two, let's make sure that we're interacting with everybody in the group, commenting on anybody's post, that comes in or whatever, giving feedback, anything like that. I definitely make sure that I try to do that. So let's make sure that we are doing that. Let's also make sure when we're interacting with everyone that if anybody is asking you a specific question or anything like that, I really appreciate if you all actually answer back and don't leave them hanging or anything like that. I've seen that in multiple groups, and we don't want to have people hanging in the group when they're asking about something specifically from you. So let's make sure we try to all encourage one another, anything like that. As I've said in some of our lives before, guys, we're not in competition with each other. We're all in this industry together. That's what this group is about. This group is about uplifting everybody in the group and then actually helping everybody in the industry. When we do that, we all rise together. In this group, I am behind everybody. We all rise together. If I rise, you rise. So let's make sure we're doing that. Self promotion, let's make sure that we're not bombarding a lot of people with self promotion or anything like that. It's not that that we don't want anybody promoting or anything like that for what you have for the industry. It's just that people are in groups and they don't want to be bombarded with a lot of promotions, self promotions, with a lot of different things like that. Everybody is out there to learn and to grow. So let's make sure we're not doing a whole lot of just blasting and doing that self promoting. So that's the reason why that actual rule is in place, that we're not doing any kind of self promotion in the group. And it's also to protect everybody in the group because there may be some people that It's just like that in our industry, everywhere, which they will may end up, spamming somebody, and when they spam them or something, or they actually scam somebody. And so we want to make sure that we're protecting each other and holding each other accountable within the group because we don't want to do that. Everybody's dollars is valuable. Every hard earned dollar that you have is very valuable. So let's make sure that we do that. So I am still waiting on Kaylin to jump in. Again, I see some other comments over. So let's make sure if you have not, you might have to go back out, come back in, but make sure that you click on that link so I can see your name. I can see it from one of my other devices that I am seeing it from. But from the application itself, I can't see who is commenting. It just lists you as a Facebook user. And so if you can, let's try to do that. In the meantime, does anybody have any questions for me before we get started, before Kaylin gets in here? At the top, the subject is pricing tonight. That's what we're going to be talking about. Everybody has been asking about that. Again, I can teach you my pricing method, the way I price things. But in the industry, there is so many different formulas and methods. So I'd rather bring in someone that is professional, that specializes within that, which is Caitlin. And she's part of Pricing 101. So she'll be coming in and joining with us tonight and sharing her tidbits and information within the industry about pricing. So while we're doing that, so we need some interaction. I need some high energy from you all. So for everybody that is hearing me or anything like that, and you know that you need you have a problem with pricing and you need help, give me a one and some hearts. Um, so I'll know who's out there. So I know who needs help out there tonight. Hey, Danella, how are you? Let's see, you got a question. When you are building your inventory, are there basic colors you go after or make sure you have? So that's kind of a twofold question, Danilo. And I'll go ahead and answer that for you. So number one, when you're building your inventory, for building in your inventory, number one, you really don't really want to build your inventory if you don't have your customer base. Everybody tries that. Everybody goes out and they just buy a plethora of inventory and stuff. And then you end up sitting on inventory that you don't really use. So you want to be kind of cautious and careful of that. So your inventory will be built up as you get your customers in. So when you get your customers in and your pricing is correct, keyword pricing, if your pricing is correct, then you won't have to worry about it and you can purchase your inventory. One thing about it and with pricing is you have to stay firm, know your worth, and also when you do that, make sure that with your clients, you're not sharing information with them and be like, oh, I gotta order that, oh, I gotta purchase this. Don't do that. They to your clients, what they know is you're providing them a service, and when you're providing them a service, it doesn't matter if you have it or not, but they should know that. So that's something that you got to make sure of, that you're not sharing that out with your client specifically. Okay. Um, Other than that, if and I have built my business a little bit on that, if you have the money and you just want to go ahead and do that, specific colors that are usually generally used in the industry when it comes to, I think you asked about table. No, you just asked about just basic colors. Is of course always black, always white, and then ivory. There's the three main colors that you're pretty much going to always use, depending on how you structure your business. But yes, usually always going to be your base foundation of what you use. Anything that's outside of using black, white, and ivory for most people in the industry, then that turns into like more of custom type of ordeals with clients where you're ordering custom colors and all that, and then that goes into pricing again, and that's an upcharge. That's a next level up. So hopefully that answered your question for you. If not, definitely let me know. For everybody in the industry, in the group, or whatever, whatnot. Let's see. I got Caitlin on now. I just brought her on. So anybody in the industry on that, will definitely make sure that you don't just go down that road. Make sure that you're doing everything correctly. But other than that, I've talked to you enough. I'm going to turn it over to Caitlin. Caitlin is the pricing guru. She is awesome. She is great, and I'm going to let her take it away.
Hello, everyone. Hi, hi, hi. Thank you, Eric, so much for inviting me to your group to um, talk to your rock stars about pricing. For those of you guys who do not know me, my name is Ketline. I am the founder of Pricing 101. Some of you guys might be in the group. Some of you guys might not be in the group. I am in Boston, Massachusetts. My event planning company is called Above Witness Events, where I plan all type of events, but I specialize in kids parties. When I say kids parties, over the top kids parties. I am the go-to person if you have a question regarding numbers. I love crunching numbers. I love helping people to understand their numbers. But today I know Eric had invited me over to talk to you guys about pricing. With pricing, we can go in 1,000 different, direction when it comes to pricing. But I thought that today I would start off with you guys by explaining to you guys some of the different strategies that are used in pricing and how you can incorporate them into your business. Because when it comes to pricing, it could be that a lot of people usually price their products or services out of these things that they should not do. Either they're going to do it based on what somebody else is charging, out of fear because they think that, okay, I cannot do this because I'm new in the industry, or because they haven't done their research, so they're just kind of doing copycatting. I say if you're in the business to make money, you need to know your numbers. You need to understand your numbers. You need to know why you are pricing what you are pricing. For example, Eric might say that, I'm doing draping and I'm doing all these other stuff when it comes to event planning. So my starting price is going to be $2,000. For some of you in the industry, you might be like, oh, no, honey child, you're charging too little, but you do not know what his overhead cost is, what's associated with him running his business. So you cannot per se say that he cannot charge, the $2,000 for that event. Or you might see that another person is charging $35,000 for an event. You're like, oh no, they shouldn't be charging. Again, it all goes back to the person knowing their numbers, where they want to be at their business level, and what it is that they bring into the industry. Numbers can be tricky sometimes, but at the same time, once you understand them and you know them, it's easy for you to just give a client a quote. And I always tell people, when you are starting out and you're pricing out your products or services, this is the easiest way, and I've explained that in my group already. Because the pricing formula, when it comes to the pricing formula, that's when you want to make those top dollars, right? You're ready, like you're not playing no games with your business. You're all about those coins and you're ready to get that money, and you know who your target market is. You've done your homework in the industry. Okay, fine. Those are for those people who are in that. Because, when we start out, we're all at different level of the spectrum, right? So for those of you guys who are just starting out, I understand. You guys are like, well, you know what? I cannot charge for all of that stuff. I tell you, do it this way. Break it down into 3 sections. Planning, which is your service fee, right? Because as a business owner, you need to understand that you need to get paid, right? So your service fee is going to be, for me, I have 2 different set of service fees, right? One is for non-wedding related events. One is just for regular events like birthday party, milestone, sweet 16, stuff like that. So that's one. So those are the 2 service fees. So my regular service fee for non-wedding starts at $750, right? For somebody to get me out of my house to go do an event for you, I'm not looking to make less than $750 my pay, right? Because it takes a lot for me to get out of my house, right? Now, if it's a wedding related decor that I'm doing, just decor, I base it off my day of coordination, right? Which starts off at $1,800 because that's what it would be for me to coordinate your wedding, right? So my service fee for a wedding is $1,800. So do you guys see how it is? And then the next step, how I do it is I break it down into the design, right? Whatever it is that the client sends to me, right? I don't care whether it's a wedding or it's a birthday party or if it's a dinner party. My thing is, for your design is going to be based off what the client wants. If you send me a hey fam, hi Kawana. If you send me a design, right? Whether it's for a birthday or wedding, right? If those elevated centerpieces that you send me, whether it's for a wedding or a birthday, that start at $600. Guess what? I'm charging you that $600. You cannot tell me, well, it's not a wedding. Well, you understand, it's the same amount of work that's going into making those centerpieces. It's gonna cost me the same amount of money to rent out that charger plate or to buy that charger plate. It's gonna cost me the same amount of money to rent that tablecloth or to buy that tablecloth. Does that make sense? Like, when you guys are going about charging for the design, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, what I don't get is that some people like, oh, it's a wedding, so now those charger plates that was $2.99 are now $15. That's where you guys lose the client. Where you guys should be making your money and your distinction now should be in your service fee. $750 for me for non-wedding, $1,800 starting at wedding. So that's how you guys make the distinction. So that's the second part of the pricing structure. The third part now is the day of event, right? You know, on the day of, you have to be able to bring those things to the client. You need staff, you need whatever. So again, a wedding of 50 people is going to be different for a wedding of 100. It's going to be different for a party of 5. You get what I mean? So again, so on the day, it might be that, okay, for a kid's birthday party of 50, I only need 2 staff members. I paid them each $50. So that's $100 right there, right? The U-Haul truck is going to be $150, right? So that's what? 202. What did I say before? 100 plus 250, so that's $350 right there for the U-Haul truck. I need to get paid for the day. So if it's for a birthday party, I just divide my service fee into 2, right? So that would be out of the 750 that I would charge for a kid's birthday party for the service fee on the day of. Now it's gonna be like $350. I said $350 for my pay of the day because on that day I'm away from my family. So on that day I add whatever it costs me to produce that, to get my staff, to get that U-Haul truck, over, and all that stuff all together would be that, right? So for example, I'm giving you guys an example. Somebody hires me for a kid's birthday party for 50 people, right? And then they sent me these beautiful centerpieces where it's elevated. When I put the design together and I go into CV linens, because you know I'm biased, I love CV linens because this stuff is better quality than, tablecloth factory, whatever the case may be. When I go into CV linen, I add all the stuff that they wanted based on the glass charger plates, the vases, and all that stuff that I'm getting from CV linen. It became $1,500, right? $1,500, that's what it would cost for me to actually get that stuff to the client. I can either add an extra fee on top of that to it, or I can leave it at that $1,500. So for now, for the purpose of this, we're gonna leave it at the $1,500. For me to get the stuff from CV Linen is $1,500 just for the table setting, right? But then the centerpieces, when I get the flowers and everything all together, and I do my markup, 3 times markup, the flowers that the client wants now is gonna be another $1,200, right? So I'm gonna add that, right? For my service fee, right, of the $750 for them to get me out of my house is $750. So I'm gonna add that $750 to it, right? And then on the day of now, my staff, I need 3 staff, right? That's at $150 each, right? And then a U-Haul truck that's gonna cost me $250. And then my pay of $350 added, right? So at the end for that event now, my total cost to my client now is $4,200. And some people are probably looking at me like, for 50 people, yes, because it's based on the design that the client wants, right? For them to get me out of my house, the $750, that's my pay. If me and Eric wanna, have a few Patron or Blue Label, you understand? I can go to the store and be like, hey, Eric, I just had that event. I have $750 on the side. I'm gonna use that money to go out to dinner with you, but I'm not touching any of that money that's not coming from my pocket. And the design fee, whether or not I have the stuff in-house or I have to get it, that's what it's gonna cost them, right? And then for my staff, because again, we cannot, if we want to be able to produce these events for the client where we're not going to be late, where we're not going to be We're not going to worry about people saying that they're going to show up and they don't show up because they're not getting paid. You know, right off the bat, your staff is getting paid. You know that you have that U-Haul truck, that at the end of the day, you have somewhere to get the stuff to the client. Some clients don't want U-Haul. Sometimes you might have to go to Hertz or whatever to rent out one of those nicer cars, depending on the type of clients that you have. It's already taken care of. But at the end of the day, you still have money to reinvest back into your business, right? You have money to pay off the taxes. You're paying yourself for planning, and then you're paying yourself for being away from your family. That's the easiest way to actually price your stuff when you're just starting out. Now, when you're top dog, you're already in the business, you're all about your money. That's where the pricing formula comes into play, and that's a whole different ball game. We're not even going to touch on that today. But today I do want to talk to you guys about the different pricing strategies, right? And how you can incorporate them into your business. There's about, I think there's a total about 11 pricing strategies that are out there. Of course, you know, sometimes you can combine them together, and sometimes you can use them standalone depending on what you're doing. Some of you guys in the industry are just service based. So again, a few of them is going to work. Some of you is just product based, where it's just going to be, you know, one type of pricing strategies. But once you understand and you're able to use them into your business, you're no longer going to ask that question. Hey, I have a client who just sent me this thing. How much should I charge? You will, to be honest with you, you should, once you understand this, you should never ask that question again. Yeah, there are certain things you might not know, like, hey, Eric, you know how much for, you know, footage of draping, because I'm not a draping expert, but granted, once you have that type of thing, you know, like once you know what the design is that the client wants, you can go on CV Lens. Okay, it's, you call Eric, you're like, Eric, how many panels do you think I'm gonna need to make that backdrop? And Eric's gonna be like, looking at that, it might be 5 or 6 of those panels. Now you can go into CV Lens and add those 6 panels into your cart, and you see how much it's gonna cost, and you can be better equipped to charge that client based on what Eric has told you. So again, so some of the pricing strategies that we're probably gonna the first one is called the competition based pricing. I don't know if you guys know what that means. So this pricing strategy is used when you are using your competitors' prices, right, as a benchmark for your business, right? So again, so I'm in the same market as Eric. I know that Eric is starting off at $3,500 and I'm just entering, or I just need to know. So I'm going to use Eric's pricing as a benchmark. That does not mean that I am going to copy Eric's pricing. It's just like, you know, a benchmark just to see if I'm pricing too low, if I'm pricing too high, to see exactly where I'm at, right? Like for us in the event planning industry, where our businesses, we compete in highly saturated spaces or market, like we are, like everybody who's in the event planning industry. This would be a great pricing strategy for you guys to use, since you can either price your product a little bit higher. I always tell people, either you do it higher than your competitors, or you keep it where your competitors is. Don't go below the competition, because then that makes you look like you don't know what you're doing, you're incompetent, or you're just, you know, you're just starting out. And clients tend, I'm one of those funny clients where if I'm comparing prices and I see Eric is charging $3,500 and you're charging $1,500, I'm going to scratch my head and be like, if you're providing the same thing, what is wrong with your product, or what is wrong with your services? Now, if you're pricing your stuff the same as Eric, I'm going to look, okay, you're pricing your stuff. So I have Eric and Ketline to compare it to now. Okay, they're both $3,500. What is she offering and what is he offering? What is the level of service? And that's how I'm going to base it off. Typically I tend to go with the person that price higher, because chances are they're going to give me more for what they are offering. But if I see that you're below, if I go to 5 different companies and they're all within the ballpark, and I see that one little company is standing out like a sore thumb, right? Like a sore thumb, and they're like at $1,000, I'll be like, that saying, you know, you pay for what you get what you pay for. That's what's in the back of my head. Again, when you guys are using that, always try to either keep the price, if you're using the competitors competition pricing strategy, always try to keep it at where your competitors are, or slightly above, maybe 10 or 15% above what your competitors are pricing, right? So that's gonna be a deciding factor for clients when they're looking. They're gonna be comparing, and if you're too high, they're gonna be like, damn, okay, why is this person so much higher if you guys are offering the same thing? And the thing is, if you're much higher than your competitors, make sure that you are giving them something that's gonna show them why the difference is so big versus your competitors. Does that make sense, you guys? If it does, give a thumbs up, give, I'll let Eric know. All right. I know some people are like, well, I can't, I'm just starting out, so I'm gonna do it slightly below. If you are going to do it slightly below, please just take the fee from your service fee, not from the design fee. Because then if somebody comes to Eric, right, and you be like, okay, how much do you charge? Eric says $750 is for you to hire me. Okay, fine. But how is it for the design? And Eric says the design is $3,500, right? Okay, cool. And you go to Caitlin and they're like, okay, how much is your service fee? My service fee is $300. Okay, cool. But how much is the design? Same thing again. I tell them it's $3,500. So they're probably gonna go with me based off my service fee, not off of the design. Does that make sense? You get what I mean? So yes, my service fee is different, but I'm not taking away from what it actually cost me to produce that event. So if for 50 people, when I rent out from my rental company, or when I buy it from CV Leonard, it's $3,500. They come from me for that design. For Eric, it's $3,500. For Fasha, it's $3,500. For Caitlin's $35. So, and every time they go in the market, they see the design is the same thing. They're just gonna look for that sucker, right? That's gonna give them that service fee less than them, but not the design portion of it. So if you're going to price lower, make sure it's within your service fee and not on your day of, because that's your staff payment. Okay. So like this pricing strategy right there is great for products, digital, for events, or if you're offering digital products, right? So I'm gonna Eric, give me what your okay. So for even for 100 people, just give me what your fee would be. Like, okay, somebody come to you, a basic setup for 100 people. How much would that be?
It starts at 4,500.
Okay, so I'm gonna put 4,500 because I have a spreadsheet. I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. I'll show you guys, right? So Eric says his start at $4,500, right? So then now my price now, okay, 45. Do I want to keep it at 45? Okay, for this purpose, I'm gonna price mine at $5,000, right? So then my price, right, is 11% higher than Eric's. I'm good with that because that it's not that big of a difference, right? So my price is $500 higher than my competitor, which is great. I can sit here and map. Okay, I'm good with that. But the variable is because I did the 5,000. Maybe for my product it cost me $750 more than what Eric would typically buy. Maybe Eric is starting out and he buys his stuff from Wish, right? Because Wish is, I'm just giving an example. Like he doesn't mind waiting. He has the money on hand, right? He has the money on hand, so he can buy ahead of time to have all that stuff in his warehouse where he doesn't mind waiting. Where me, as for example, I buy as the client needs it, right? So it costs me $750 more. Somebody has a question? How do you calculate the design fee? Again, it's based off what I think I'm worth per hour, right? I know, say for example, I spend at least before I even get my staff involved, it takes me about 10 to 15 hours just to, prep set, drive to Michael's, go to CV Lennon's to get all that stuff done, be in my basement spray painting or contacting different vendors, right? So I'm like, okay, so for example, if my starting fee, my hourly rate, right? I'm like, okay, let me figure out what my hourly rate is gonna be. So if my hourly rate is $25 an hour, I'm gonna do $25 an hour times the minimum hour that I'm willing to put behind the scene. That's how I come up with my service fee. Does that make sense? So that's how you guys should figure out exactly if you work a 9 to 5 job, right? And you're working part-time, right? And they pay you 25. What's the minimum wage? I'll say here, Boston, I don't know. So $25 an hour, right? So $25 an hour, that's what you're getting from your 9 to 5 job, right? That's why if you went to work, you'll get that paycheck automatically for $25 an hour. For this event, it's gonna take you at least 10 hours behind the scene to complete that event, right? Time sent. So then your service fee can be $250. $25 times 10 hours behind the scene, $250 for your service fee. I mean, everybody price is different. So again, you're gonna have to figure that out based off what you get a week from your job. So I think that's the easiest way to do it. Base it off a week's pay that you would get from your job. That would be the easiest way I would tell somebody to do it that way. All right. So $750 now would be my the cost for me getting the products in, right? So then now my gross margin would be $42.50, right? That's what I would be paying. So again, so if I'm getting $42.50, I'm like, okay, for $5,000, right? If I get 5 clients in, right? So my goal is for the month, I only need that 5 is too much. For a month, okay, 2 events for the month. So I'll do 3 events for the month, right? So I say, okay, number of events I can do is 3, right? So I do 3 events for the month for the $5,000, right? So my projected hi Corey, my projected total revenue will be $15,000 for the month. And my projected gross margin will be $12,750, because remember, $750 is what it cost me to bring in whatever it is for the design of that event. So again, that's not too bad. If I'm charging, hi baby, if I'm charging $5,000 for an event and I do 3 of them for the month, I'm taking home $12,750 minus, whatever it cost me to actually produce that event. So that's what is good for you guys to be able to use the competitor's price to see exactly how much is it that you can bring in each month. So again, I have this in a spreadsheet for those of you guys who are interested in it. I'll tell you guys how you can get this. So again, so that was with me charging, $5,000. Now I'm going to do it as if Eric is charging $4,500. I decide, okay, I'm just starting out. I'm not gonna charge him my service fee, right? Of the $750, right? So then now I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna keep it at $3,500, right? So now, which means my price is 22% less than what Eric is charging. That's a lot in the industry for me to go down like that much. I'm like, ouch, that's gonna hurt me, in the future. Okay, fine. I know that. Okay, it's gonna cost me maybe, we'll say it cost me $500 for my products, right? And so then now my gross margin is only $3,000, and if I do 3 projects, right, for the for that $3,500, I'm bringing in $9,000 for the month. And then it, total all over revenue would be $10,500. But remember, the $500 times the 3, that's what would be taken out for it. So again, this pricing strategy here is good if you're trying to see, I want to bring in that $10,000 for the month. How do I do it? How many products or services do I need to bring in? So that's where that one comes into play. All right. Does anybody have question about that one? I can't see the comments, Eric, so you would have to let me know if people have comments.
Let's see. It looks like Kawana has a question.
Okay.
Looks like for me.
Okay.
Pricing for the garland. Are you talking about on my profile pic? So I'll have to get with you on that. I'll basically give you some basic pricing on that. That garland was 25 feet long down that staircase. But pricing for that garland is a little bit different because that was fresh flowers. Silk is a little bit actually more pricey too as well. Caitlin can touch on a little bit about pricing for flowers. It's a little bit different. But we usually take flowers and we times them by 3. And then you have to add in all the material and stuff that actually equates to that to be able to get you to that price. So it's a little bit different when you're dealing with flowers than it is with the event stuff.
So I learned from Leah with the flowers, right? So and I kind of just do it this way. She says, anything that's a hard good, like meaning stuff that you can reuse again, times it by 2. Because again, silk flowers, if I'm able to use it again, I'm just gonna multiply whatever the price is by 2. That's for the silk flowers because they're more expensive and chances are you understand you get to use them again. For fresh flowers, you mark it up 3 times, because once they're done, you can't reuse it again. So again, like, you can't reuse it, so it's 3 times. So that's how Leah said to do it. Like, anything that you can't reuse again, do it, mark it up 3 times. Anything that you can use again, mark it up 2 times. And that has been working out pretty good for me, because now I have a box full of flowers that I'm able to use. Like, no, seriously. I mean, of course, it's not all the same. You can mix and match them. You can do all that stuff, but you still have it in your inventory. But at the same time, it's bringing you that money back again into your business. The next pricing, okay, the next pricing strategy is called the cost-based pricing strategy, right? This pricing, yeah, to clean and put away everything. Yeah, of course. Again, that's what I tell people. That's where your service fee comes into play. Your service fee takes into account you cleaning, you doing all that stuff, and your payment for the day of, again, that's also gonna be what's gonna be calculated into what overall it would be. Okay, when it comes to you getting the stuff, that's the design fee of it. The day before, that's you getting the stuff before your client even sees anything. The payment on the day of, that's you cleaning up, putting stuff away, and that's that stuff. So again, I cannot tell you exactly how much you should be charging, because at the end of the day, everybody's different. Some people don't mind working for free because they want their name to be out there. You understand? By all means, if you want to work for free on that day, by all means do that. But again, like we said, like for those flowers, for the centerpieces, for the tablecloth, to wash them, to dry them, to get the U-Haul truck, to get the glue stick, to go to Michael's, to put gas in your car, food for your staff. That's all part of that day of and that design fee. Again, if you want to be boo-boo the fool and work for free because you're like, okay, I just want to get my name out there, blah, 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 I'm scared. Okay, but I don't care if I just started out right now. The fact is that I'm taking all these classes. I'm paying for these classes. Right now, yes, I didn't do flowers until I took Leah's class. I can guarantee you, put me against anybody who's been in the industry doing flowers. A client calls me, if they're charging $5,000 for a flower, guess what? I'm charging you $5,000 for the flowers too. Because you understand, I took that class with Leah. It was the same amount of materials. I had to fly down there to pay for the class. I had to do the hands-on. Listen, I can do the same thing that another person who's been in the industry for 15 years has been doing. Okay, fine. They might be charging, $5,500 for the service fee, but my service fee is not going to be zero. I might not charge $5,500. It might be more, okay, $5,000. I'll give you a discount of $500. But guess what? It's not going to be for free. I do not need the experience, because you know where the experience comes from? The experience is from me spending that money, investing in those classes, getting on that plane, renting that Airbnb or paying for that hotel room. You understand what I mean? All of that. That's where that experience come into play. I'm not scared no more. Like, why should I be scared because I don't have the experience? As long as I'm able to reproduce what the client wants, that's all that matters. That is all that matters. Like, I'm sorry. Some of you guys are like just so scared. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Again, be confident. If you're confident enough to take those classes, if you're confident enough to step out on that faith, listen, make sure you guys are charging accordingly. Like, and a lot of people undermine it. Like, Leah was putting her foot on my butt because when I told her how much I was going to charge this client for centerpiece, I thought I was doing pretty good. She was like, no, honey, because you were not thinking big enough. And I'm like, oh, shoot, you know what? Maybe it was me letting that fear in, but I am not going to do that anymore. Like, yes, she's the guru, but you understand what I mean? I've been under Leah. She's my mentor. So again, she's passing on those knowledge. So the client knows I'm capable of doing what it is that I need to do. Can I get the charger for this? So the next one is the cost-based pricing strategy, which focus solely on the cost of producing the product, right? Or services, right? It's she said no more food the floor. Sorry, you guys. Stuff just comes out of my mouth, and I'm just being real with you guys. You understand? Sometimes you need somebody to be real with you, like especially if you're, because a lot of people, and I'm telling you, Eric, I see people in the group, especially when we do what would you charge or show your work, and I'm
Right.
going, yeah, you're putting me to shame. And then I go in the inbox, I'm like, how much did you charge for that? And I'm like this. Can you come work for me? Like, I'll fly you down. You can work for me there for that price. I'll sit in my house and I'll charge my client that big buck, and I'll pay you the fee that you're charging, because damn, like, really? And they're like, well, I'm just starting out. I'm like, really, dude? Do you see your work and you're telling me you're just starting out? The client doesn't need to know you're just starting out, because your work speaks for itself. So again, sometimes
Absolutely.
I think we just need that extra push, that extra kick in the butt to really get ourselves out there. Yeah, sometimes. And I think it's Desiree that always says that. She was one of the speakers. She tells people all the time, an event is a celebration. You don't have to have all that over the top stuff. You can go to Party City or Dollar Tree and just put a plain plastic tablecloth on your thing and call it a day. But if you're trying to keep up with the Jones, right? You want to keep up with the Jones, you need to be able to pay like the Jones do. And I'm not going to be the one that leaves my house to help you keep up with the Jones, where my family or my bills is not being paid, where I'm in the red. No, I can't do that. You want to keep up with the Jones? Keep up with the Jones. Because again, you do not need all that extra stuff to show people off. If you have the money, I'll gladly take your money. There's other options for you. You don't need me there. You can rent out the stuff. You understand what I mean? You can buy it and do it yourself, but they don't, one client told me, well, I'm busy. I don't have time. And you you think I have time to leave my family to come and do it for you? Again, it's all about respecting yourself and your business. If you don't respect your business, client is not gonna respect your business. All right. So that one, this one is also the cost plus pricing is also known as the markup pricing. We just talked about the markup pricing, right? So again, you add a fixed percentage on the or dollar amount to the product or services that you're doing, right? So for example, a vase costs $15. I'm gonna mark it up to $30. So right off the bat, it's gonna be $30. That's a markup. That's all it means. Like plain simple. That's that. There's no in between. There's nothing. So this pricing strategy is good if you're selling a product. For those of you guys who do chip bags, water bottle labels, step and repeats. What else? What else is a product? Anything that's a product, pretty much. Just mark it up that way. You add a percentage. Okay, if it costs me $35 to get all the materials to make that product, I'm gonna charge another $35 for my time. Boom. There you go. That's what it is. It's gonna be the $70 for that product. You get what I mean? So just add a percentage or add a dollar amount to it, and that's what it is. So it's just plain simple, good to go, nothing in between. So I'm gonna do one, right? So it cost me about, I'll say, okay, for a product it's $8 to make, right? To make a product, and I can do, say, 10 units. No, I can do 15 units, right? So for that $8, I'm gonna add an additional $10 to it. So I'm gonna mark it up to $10, right? I'm gonna add $10 to it, so it's gonna be $18, right? So then now my unit selling price now would be $18 for that one product, right? So then if I can do 15 of those products, my gross revenue would be $270. My gross margin would be $150, right? So if you're doing a percentage, say if I'm gonna mark it up 20%. So if I market 20% from the original $8, that would be $9.60 for each unit that I would be selling, right? The gross revenue now would be $144, and my gross margin would be $24. So again, that one is plain simple. You just figure out, okay, a unit is gonna be whatever. I'm gonna add that to it, and that's the end of that. Oh, perfect for shirts, right? If you buy the shirts for $35, you add the extra $10 for you to get it in, and the cricket or whatever that's how you guys should be able to do that one. That one is to the point. It's not much like retailers and people who sell products use that. This one is not really good for services, because then you can't really do stuff. For the flowers is good, the silk flowers, the real flowers, the lumi dish, all that stuff. That's what you would do. That you would use that pricing strategy here to be able to calculate what it would cost you in order for you to know how much it is. Again, with those things, you make sure you add every penny together. It cost me $5 for this, $10 for that, 50 cents for that, a penny for that. I add everything. A penny, like if it's a penny, I'm adding that penny, because you know what I learned. For the rich people, listen, if they did not have that penny, they could not be a millionaire. Yeah, you might be at $9.99, but that $9.99.99, but that's still not $1,000. So I'm gonna add that penny onto my pricing. So make sure you guys add everything and then decide how you're gonna do it. Are you gonna double it? Are you gonna triple it? Are you gonna add a percentage to what it is? And that's how you're able to do it. Because some people are like, well, I don't know. I bought the stuff for $24. I don't know how I should price. I cannot tell you exactly what. Again, it's all gonna be based on what you think you're worth for the amount of time that it's going to take for you to produce that product or service for the client. Okay. So that's the second one. So the first one was the competitor or competition pricing. The second one was a cost base or markup pricing. And that one was to the to the point, right? The next one, and I love this one, Eric, that one would work great for you in your in what you're doing with the draping, right? It's called the freemium pricing strategy, right? So it's when a company or a business owner give a basic version of their product, hoping that the user would want to get, the full to pay for the upgraded version of it, right? So, for example, Eric did one where he was teaching you the basics of draping, right? You just put, the plain standard one. Now, if I want to learn the swag, okay, Eric gave me that for free, right? So now he's offering another class where now you learn the basic. Now I'm going to teach you the swags and how to do the hands over the look, I suck at listen, you guys. I act like I know how to do draping, but I suck at draping. Like, yeah, I know how to make it look good, but that hand over and the tying and the swag, I'm like, it looks like, I'll get half of it all nice, and the other half, I don't know how to do it. You know how you mirror stuff? I'm that client that you can offer the freemium package to, right? So now Eric's gonna be like, okay, the next class now is gonna be for the elevated, the master class now. And this is what you're gonna get. You already got the basic for free because he's willing to give it to you for free. Now he's gonna sit there and offer you guys the extended version of it. So that's where you can use that, right? Free trials or limited time. So for example, okay, now I'm teaching pricing strategy. Okay, if I was to do this class or I was to do a one-on-one with somebody for this, it's $197 because I've put in the work. I've done it's $197 right off the mat. But people might need it. So people who are on, I might say, okay, Eric, for your class now, for whoever's on now, because they already got a little taste of it, I will give it to you the first 2 hours, say for $35, right? People gonna hop on it because then I already showed you what it is, but now you're willing to pay for the rest of the stuff that goes to it. So again, Precious does it really well for her classes. She gives you a little, tips how I got started, or they give you the terms that goes with the pipes and drape, the different basic stuff. Just pretty much the basic stuff that people can actually go on Google and get the information for. But then when Eric is giving the other stuff, because he actually went to iWed, right? You went to iWed where they show you all the different stuff, and he paid that big money. You can go and Google all that stuff. You're not gonna find it on YouTube. Trust me. I tried to go to YouTube University. You're not gonna find it. You find all the basic stuff, but the other stuff you're not going to find it. So that's where now you need the freemium to lure those people. And you want to learn? I'm gonna walk you. I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm going to hold your hand like Kenny is, like the baby, to make sure that you get it, you understand it. You can be in my inbox, you can ask me questions. So that's where that is. iWed is a lot of money because I was looking into it. I'm like, you know what? I would rather go ahead, Eric. Eric, what you said is what $100 for that class? I'll take it. I'll take that for $100 because when you go to iWed to do that thing, it's like $3,500 for one class, and then if you want the other class, and another $3,500. You're like, what? These people think I'm rich? Like, come on now, Eric. How much the whole class again? Can I do a payment plan, dude? Like, seriously, you guys need to know. Like, things because they're advertising it on COVID. I'm just like, are you serious? Like, and half of the time you go is either you get it or you don't get it. And I know somebody who went to iWed. Seriously, no, this person, no, I'm not gonna name no name, no lie. I went to help this person who set up, and they had their little iWed, the thing that they give you guys, the little
The apron.
apron and the thing that you put all your tools and stuff in. And I'm like, oh shoot, I'm like, oh, this person is about to kill this backdrop. I'm all for it. Yo, I went in because you know me. I'm like, I'll help you for free, dude. Like, I'm here. I'm like, I was supposed to be on. I told my baby, I need to help somebody real quick. I'm gonna stay. Just to see. And I ended up doing the backdrop for the person. I'm like, well, you want to I'm like, wait, this is not even. Wait, but from the little things that I got from Precious and YouTube University and you guys, I'm like, no. I'm like, that's not how you do that hand over. Like, you know how you do the two thing where it's longer. And I'm going like, no. So I'm like, so then I went to the person. I'm like, how much did you pay for iWorld? She was like, yeah, I went to iWorld and they taught me. I'm like, that's what they taught you? I'm like, oh, hell no. I've learned more from looking at Precious than I'm like, no, honey, boo boo, I'm straight. So yeah, again, that freemium trial, offer the free trials and limited membership. And then when you offer the extended version, make sure you're giving people the perks and all the access to you. Like sometimes, like the people who are not paying, like you have limited access to me. But if you're paying that premium price, listen, go ahead and be in my inbox at 1:00. I'll answer you at 1:00. But if you're not paying and you want free, guess what? You're gonna be on read for a little bit. I'm gonna answer you, but I'm not gonna be all up ready to just jump in and just give you all the free stuff. So again, Eric, that's where that's where you're able to use that, right? With the freemium pricing, the prices must be must be a function of the perceived value of the product, right? Again, whenever you're offering a dripping class that's in Eric, you and Joanna, I'm in there. Even though I might not use it, I might outsource it, but I'm in there because I want to be able to learn. You understand what I mean? I want to be able to see the behind, because I know with a fact, if I get it from you or Joanna or Precious, for a fact that I know if I have a question, you guys are going to be able to walk me through it. You understand what I mean? And because I'm paying you guys take care of the people that are in your group in order to be able to hold our hand to make sure that we get it, right? So like though that strategy is perfect for you guys. Like also for me and pricing one-on-one, those would be a strategy that would work well for me. Like if I'm offering consulting, right? Not a consultant. If I'm doing the mentorship programs, those are great ways of doing it. Like if you're doing a mentorship program, that would be a great way. You start off with 1 month and give them what they would need to start off. And then of course, eventually in order for you to finish, you have to follow through with the rest of it in order for you to be able to do it. And that's where that pricing works, right? So let's do an example, right? So for example, for your group, right? Say my group, I'm going to use my group, for example. We have 6,000 members, right? Or 6,000 members. Let's say we have about, out of that 6,000, 2,000 member or the free ones that I've sent emails to, right? 2,000 of them, right? So the upgraded rate, right? So maybe it was free. Now for them it's gonna be $97, right? Oops. No, the rate of increase. So I'm gonna increase it by say 50%, right? So out of that $2,000, I know I can convert 1,000 of them to the upgrade, right? So 2,000 of them is the free, like 2,000 people are here and I'm giving them free information, and I can convert 50% of those people to the premium, right? So that's 1,000. That's 1,000 members, right? And for that premium price, I'm like, okay, my premium price is usually $197, but I'm gonna give it to them for $97, right? Hold on 1 second. Why is this thing now acting right? Act right. Now I have to times. So if I'm able to get, the 90s, if I'm able to get 1,000 people, right, at my $97, That's a total revenue of $97,000 I'm bringing in. Do you see how you can convert people over? So again, whatever, and that's good when you have a website or you have a sales funnel. Actually, that's a whole different ballgame about your sales funnel and how to get people to sign up for your stuff. And yes, you might have 3,000 or 2,000 people. You're not gonna get all 2,000 people into your sales funnel. Not everybody's gonna wanna. Some people, they just want the free information and they go. They don't care. They'll go on to the next person, hoping they can get the rest of the information. But if I can convert 50% of that, that's $97,000 that would be in my pocket. Even if I did say, let's do another, even if we did 20%, right? That would be 400 people off the 2,000, right? So if we do 400 times by, what did we say, $97? That's still $38,800 that I would make from me upgrading those free people, 20% of them, to get the paid version of whatever I'm offering, whether it's an ebook or virtual class, or it's the upgraded version of, the draping or the pricing formula, whatever it is. That's still another way of you being able, to make money. That's how you make money in your sleep. Like, when you record the stuff and, you already record it and they're buying it. And that's another way for you guys who are offering that stuff to use. That's like a great pricing strategy. Again, if you have an ebook and, you already recorded your content already, and at the beginning, it's, at the full price, and then you do a special and you get people in, and it's always gonna, you're always gonna keep getting people back in again into that that sell funnel. And that's how you get your money. That's not bad, right? That's not bad for 400 people getting it at that. Even if you did $20, if you did $5, eventually you're going to get that money back that you put in originally. Like for the equipment, because at first you have to get the equipment, you have to get the people to shoot the video, the editors. The first few hundred people are going to pay for that, and then everything else will just be money that you can reinvest back into better equipment, to offer better design, to offer better I guess affiliates, where you can offer them different things for that nature. Okay, so that one was the freemium pricing. Are we good with that? Thumbs up, thumb down. Is it good? Are you guys good with that? All right, so the next one, and that one is the hourly pricing strategy. All of you guys should be familiar with that one. So that's also what we call the rate-based pricing strategy. Pretty much what it is, you're trading your time for money. You know what I mean? Okay. 5 hours at 5 hours is $25 an hour. So pretty much I'm giving you 5 hours, you're giving me $25 an hour. You get what I mean? So you're trading time for money. Like this pricing strategies, like if you're a consultant, is great for you. Freelancers, like, if you're freelancing for somebody, you can use that. If you're a contractor, that's also great. And as well as any other businesses that offer services. But be careful. I mean, the event planners can do that. But again, you would have to have been in business for a long time, and you and your team are a well-oiled machine. Like, you already know. For 50 people, right? From start to finish, it's going to take us 5 hours from start to finish. And it's not going to look like something that was just thrown together, right? You guys know, okay, we start from that time, this time, that time. Within that 5 hours, we're done. So whatever pricing that you give for the hourly rate, that's what it is. But the only thing with that is when you give a client a pricing, hourly rate, and they're expecting the projects to be completed, even if you go over that price, you cannot charge them more, because that's what you gave them. So you got to be very careful of this pricing strategy. All right. So we're going to give an example. Okay. So for example, Eric is a event planner. He's one of the top dogs in the industry, right? So his hourly rate is $300 per hour. Right. And then, so for each week, right, he's going to be working with this client that has a wedding, right? So each week he's gonna work 20 hours a week, right, for that client, right? So for that strategies for that week, Eric can make $6,000, right? $6,000 would be his weekly revenue if he charges $300 per hour at 20 hours each week. His weekly revenue would be $6,000, right? On average, monthly, he would bring in $26,071, right? And then for annually, if he was to do this just like that each week, just like this, for the year, he would be bringing in $3,012, $857. $312,857. If his hourly rate is 300, top dogs in the business, top event planner, $20, 20 hours each week that he's going to work for that client, that's what it would be. So this one is like if you're doing like website design, Fascia, that would be great for you because you already know a website might take you, I don't know, if a website take you, how long does it take you?
I have turnaround time 2 weeks.
2 weeks, so that's how I'm not asking you for hours. So I definitely know that you charge how? Huh? 5 hours? Okay. And how much is your hourly rate?
75.
Huh? So 75, right? 5 hours. So that means every week you would be getting $375, right? Every month is $1,629. Annually, if you keep at it the way you can be bringing in each week, for the year, $19,554.
Oh shit! I need to bring that up.
I'm just saying. So that kind of gives you a basic of what, if you're trading your time for money, how much are you willing to make for the year, and how many hours are you willing to put in order for you to do that, right? Some people only want to work 2 hours. Some people want to work 5 hours. You get to control how much money you bring in with the hourly rate. That one is it's straightforward. You determine your hour. Again, for the people who wants to figure out how much their service fee should be, that's what you should be doing, right? So again, if it's $75 an hour, right? Each week you're working on a client's event, it takes you 12 hours to do, right? So then your weekly revenue will be $900, your monthly would be $39.11, your annual will be $46,929. So again, you guys can use that pricing strategy to kind of figure out what your service fee would be. All right. So that's the hourly. The next one that we're gonna talk about now is skimming pricing, right? It's when you charge the skimming pricing. That one is kind of tricky because this one is usually for people who are just entering the market. So what happens is you're gonna charge the highest price that you know for a product or service that you're gonna offer, right? And then once you've already introduced it to the market now, then you're gonna lower the price as time goes on. So perfect example could be that you guys who are getting all these. How long are you gonna be? Probably another 30 minutes. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. So
do the rice.
Okay. So for example, right? Those new chairs, right? Right off the bat, those chairs, those, because I just used these chairs, the cost, I just did the event. Mm-hmm. Originally, when the girl got them, she said that they were $15.50 for the chair because they were brand new. Everybody wanted those chairs, right? But now everybody now is getting those chairs in. So she was able to get away with the $15. Now she has lowered it down to $12.50. She's still making her money off of the chairs. You see what I mean? She started with the skimming price where she did it like, listen, she was like, I know I got them from China for $5, but I'm gonna charge a $15.50, the highest that she possibly could get away with. And people were renting this. I called to rent out those things. She was like, I'm already booked to the rim for those chairs. And I'm like, okay. That was when she first started out. I'm like, bump it. I don't want to use them anymore. I'll just use the regular ones that she had. And I just used them, the same chairs, for $12.50. I'm like, oh, okay. What happened? She was like, yeah, now everybody has those chairs. So now I need to stay competitive in the market because everybody has them. They're $12.50. So again, it's charging like if you know you have a product that's brand new, and it's also when people are gonna be copycatters. As soon as you put something out there, somebody somewhere is going to try to duplicate it or replicate what you have. Because again, I tell people roll up first, right? I used to do pricing, and then everybody's offering the spreadsheet. Guess what? At first, my pricing spreadsheet was $197. Take it or leave it. But now everybody is doing pricing. So I'm like, whatever. I already have my spreadsheet. Okay, sometimes I can have a sale for $77. Sometimes I can have a sale for $50. Sometimes if I feel like it, I'd be like, okay, you get it for free because you know you are in my inbox. Because at the end of the day, I know everybody's trying to manipulate what I did. So it's like, okay, whatever. At the beginning, it was me doing the skimming to see how many people I can get to buy it, and I got a lot of people to buy it now. Okay, it's free for all type of things. All right. So that's the skimming pricing strategy. So this one again, if you have a technology based product, okay, iPhone does it all the time, and you guys know this, right? The iPhone 12 now, it's like what, 1,500 or 1,000, some ridiculous amount of thing, right? When the iPhone 11 first started out, it was like $1,000. Now you can get it for $500. Like, really? So Apple knows how to use the skimming pricing. If you guys want to see that in action, look at Apple. Any of the products that they, whether it's a computer or a laptop or the new iPad, they use that skimming. They're gonna sit here and tell you get on the list. They try to put a limited number of those things out. So if you don't have it, you don't have it. You have the like FOMO, right? So you're like, oh dang, I'm missing out. And a few months after that, they bring it all the way down, just so they can bring in a new iPhone. So that's where, if you want to see the skimming pricing in action, look at technology products and new products and services. Anything that's spanking brand new in the industry, you're going to see that. You are going to see it. Like some people, like the throne chairs when they first came out, right? Those things were like $500 to rent out one throne chair. Now you can get a throne chair for $150 versus $500 because now everybody has them. All the events now look the same with the Kindle, those clear Kindle arbors. They all look the same. So it's like, okay, so why am I gonna get it for you for $500 when I can get it from the next person now for $250 because everybody has them? So again, keep an eye out for those things when you guys are ordering your products from overseas or you're bringing something in, because chances are if I'm bringing this thing and I'm gonna be the new person with it, I am gonna charge it so I can get the most out of my money for it. All right. So you kind of do it in phases, right? Phase 1 would be the highest, right? Phase 2 would be the discount. Phase 3 would be, well, everybody has it. So now, yeah. All right. So that's that one. The next one is called the penetration pricing strategy, right? So this one is the reverse of pricing scamming, right? This one is when you enter the market at a low price, right? You're just introducing a project to see how people are gonna gravitate toward it, right? So it might be that, okay, for a limited time, like when you do promotion, right? This is a new product or whatever that's in the market. These hydrangeas, I'm just gonna use hydrangeas because I just looked over and they're there. These hydrangeas are gonna be $5.99 to try to get people to buy it, right? So then a lot of people are gonna buy it and they're gonna give me reviews, right, on it, right? So I'm gonna kind of get a sense of what people are thinking. For the next 30 days, these hydrangeas are gonna be $5.99. So people are buying it for $5.99, getting a lot of order in, like a large volume, right? After the 30 days is up, I've seen it. So then after the 30 days, now those hydrangeas that was $5 now, they're $35. People are going to want them because not only do they see the reviews, they saw that when it first came out, it was sold out. People are going to flock toward it. So that's what the penetration is. You're trying to penetrate into the market, but you can't do it at a high price because then people are going to look at you like you're funny. But once you enter that market with that pricing, you can do whatever the hell you want because people already know what your product is. They already trust your product. They already trust you. They're willing to pay that hiked up price that you have for it. Okay. Like, so, for example, if your phase 1 is $23, right? And then hold on one second. The cost to make that hydrangea is $5, right? Right off the bat, it's $5 for me to get that hydrangea in. So $5. So then I'm gonna enter the market selling them for $2, right? That's phase 1. I'm gonna see how many people are gonna want it. So I'm like, okay, on average, okay, I know definitely I can get 50 people to buy those the hydrangea, right? So which means now I'm gonna lose about $150. That's cool. I'm like, okay, because I want people to be in it. Now phase 2, now it still costs me $5, right? dollars for that. So then now instead of the $2, I'm gonna bring it up to I'm gonna bring it up, say double it. I'm gonna bring it up to $10, right? And then again, I'm going to sell 50 units of that price, right? So then now at the 50 units, I made $500, which means I had a projected growth margin of $250. Then I can go back again. Okay, phase 3 now. Okay, fine. I see people are still want it. I'm gonna do it for $20. I'm still gonna project that 50 people are gonna buy it, right? So now I've made my revenue is now $1,000, and my projected gross margin is $750, and so on and so forth. So you just keep adding it on. So phase 4, which is the final phase, that's the maximum that I can sell that product for, right? So I'm gonna charge $45 for it again. 50 people are gonna buy it. So I just made my projected revenue would be $2,250. My projected growth margin would be $2,000 right there, right? So so then now for the final, if I get 250 people at those different phases to buy my stuff, I've made $3,850 just by introducing that product in, and by doing it in phases, versus me just coming out straight up saying, well, you know what, it's $45 for these hydrangeas, and people are gonna look at me like, what? Like, why should there's plenty of other hydrangeas in the market. Why should I buy yours for that? But over time, people are gonna see, okay, the first people that got them for the $5, which I'm like, okay, I'm biting the nails, I'm gonna take a hit. And then they give you the reviews. Yo, listen, these are the best hydrangeas. They last for 3 weeks and blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And then you're like, okay, the promotion is over now, people. Now it's time to get that. More people are gonna, and then you do another promotion. So then next stage again is another promotion. For the next 30 days, get the hydrangeas for $10, and people are gonna be flocking to it. So that's what the penetration. Again, think of penetration of you trying to enter a market that's already saturated. Okay, that's that one. And then we have the next one is the premium pricing strategy, also known as the luxury pricing strategies. That pricing strategy is here. BMW uses it. Tesla uses it. What other Tiffany and Company uses it. Apple uses it. So this is when if you have a company or if you have a business, right? The products are considered high end, right? Like Burberry, all those high end stuff, like high end hotels and stuff, the Taj, right? All these they know that is high value, that is luxurious, that is premium, right? And it focuses on the perceived value of the product, right? So if somebody has one of those Louis Vuitton bag, they figure out, oh, you know what, this is the bomb. Like my boyfriend has a Porsche, right? When he's driving that Porsche, somebody sees it, and you hear, what do you think? You're like, damn, this dude has money. You understand what I mean? So it's like it makes you feel that you're the it. When you walk in that room, all eyes are on you. You're the boss. So that's where the premium packages come into play, right? Like fashion does it, technology does it, anything that's luxury does it, and that's where they don't even care. The price is the price, and that's that. Right? You're not gonna sit here and go to Tesla. You don't even see a price tag at Tesla when you go in. You're like, oh, can I test drive that? Okay, the starting point is gonna be $100,000. Guess what? You can be like, well, can I get it for 97,000? No, ma'am. You can just walk right out of that showroom. So again, that's where that is, right? So, for example, if it's cost them, I say it cost them $800 to make the product, right? And they think that they can do, and with a luxury item, then it's not quantity, it's quality, right? They don't care if there's a 1 or 2. Within that 1 or 2 that they sell, they already made their price. They're not thinking of like quantity. Low end products, they're all about the quantity that they can bring in, not the quality of the product. For premium, it's all about the quality of it, not the quantity of it. Does that make sense? You guys see? So if I do 2 luxury events, if I do 2 luxury weddings at $150,000, I don't have to worry about taking an event for $3,500, because that's like 5 or 6 of those events in one event. Okay. So, and they say, okay, I can do 5 units, right? Of that, right? and say they're gonna increase it by say $6,000, and they do that, right? And they're gonna market, say, let's see, they usually market at 50%. Let's do 50% of what it was, right? So if a product originally was $800, they mark it up 50% of that, it becomes $1,200. Their gross revenue now would be $6,000 for that one product that cost them only $800 to make. Because it's a luxury item, they're gonna pay the luxury price for it. So again, the premium package is like when you have something you already know that's like top dog when the client comes in. Like for the people who are in the event planning industry, like those lawyers, right? They want the brandy, they want the Princess Love and RJ weddings. Those people pay the money. That's premium pricing right there. You want to be on that level, make sure you're ready to charge those premium packages. So that's what that is, right? And then the last one that I'm actually going to talk to you guys about is the project-based pricing, right? Which is that one is the opposite of hourly pricing. This one is when you charge a flat rate for your project instead of a direct exchange for money, right? So again, so it might be, okay, I'm going to do the balloon garlands, right? Because I know what my balloon garlands are. I'm going to use that as an example. My garlands now, because after doing a few of them, right, I'm like, okay, right off the bat, my project based for a balloon garland of just one color, right? And I think it's just a half one that goes up. I think it's like 16 feet. It's just halfway. It's not all the way up. Right off the bat for one color, it's $435. Point blank period. That's what it is, $435 for each additional color. Now that they add to that same 16-foot garland, it's $20 for each additional color, right? And now if they want the chrome ones, the chrome balloons, for each additional chrome balloons, it's $15 for each additional chrome, right? Like the orbs, right? And if you want the chrome, like chrome gold, chrome silver, that's an additional $20. You understand? So then I can build up. But right off the bat, for that basic basis, I will bring you the little what is it? The photography backdrop to put the garland on. I'll bring that for you, and the balloons and the one set that you want. Anything else you want my draping is a price. So again, so that one is a project base. So again, with a project base, make sure you guys calculate it, because then once you give that client that price, once you tell them it's $435 and you thought that was going to take you 5 hours to do, now it takes you 10 hours. You can't go back and tell them, well, I know I said $435. Now it's $800. The client's going to tell you, no, ma'am, you already told me it was a flat fee of $435. I don't care how long it took you. Make sure you get it done exactly how I want it. So again, be very, very, very careful with that type of pricing strategy. Unless you already know right off the bat, you have actually done a few of those projects already, and you've gotten your time down to a T, and you know you can get it done within that time frame, then that's when you would give them a fixed that's right. You can give them an estimate. So like freelancers can use that, consultant can use that. Because with consultant, like for me, when I do my one-on-one consultation, right? If they want a one-on-one with me for the pricing formula, I tell them, I give you the first 30 minutes free. After that, it's $75 for half an hour. Once your half an hour is done, right in the middle of talking to you, I'll stop. Do you want to continue? Because that was $75 you paid. The 30 minutes is up. Do you want to continue? You understand? Because I could easily say I'm going to continue for the hour, but I already told you that's what it was. Or if I tell you it's $75 for an hour, and and I tell you, okay, for $75, we're going to cover this, that. But the hour passed and we only cover two things, and there's still three things, and it takes 2 more hours for me to do it. I still have to charge you the $75 because that's what I told you. That project base was supposed to be 5 things we were going to cover, and it was for $75. So be very careful with that. Again, unless you know definitely you're going to stop right in the middle, time it to the T. 30 minutes, your time is up. Do you want to continue? But don't tell them it's $75 and then you don't finish what you said you were going to do, or you don't finish and you tell them, oh, you know what? I have to add extra money to your thing. I think that was all the strategies that we talked about. But and okay, actually I have one more, which is what actually this one is my favorite. Sorry, this one is called the value-based pricing strategy. And this one is for products or service-based companies. And it is what you think your customer is going to be willing to pay for your services, right? Even if you can charge more or less, is based off of what the client is willing to pay. Again, doing your target market research, right? Knowing what your market is willing to pay. If I'm in a market where all my customers are getting, public assistant and they're single mothers and they're only making $20,000 a year, and I'm entering a market where I'm like, okay, my starting fee is $1,800. Chances are I'm not gonna get any clients, right? Maybe my clients is willing to pay $500 because that's what they can afford. You understand what I mean? So that's the value base. But then for that $500, what are they gonna get? It may be that you're offering something and they're willing to pay $600 versus the $500, right? So if used accurately, it can boost up your customer sentiment, because then it creates repeated clients. This right here, this pricing strategy actually keep client loyalty to you, because they know what they're getting. They know that the value that you're offering. Maybe that, okay, I know Eric is offering the draping class for only $600, but based off the value that I know I'm gonna get, I'm gonna bring more people to him, because it's gonna create that loyalty. Even if somebody else was offering that product or service for $100, because I'm loyal to Eric and I know what he's offering me, I'm gonna bring other people. I'm gonna continue to be loyal to him. So that's what the value based is for your client. What is a problem that you're solving for me, right? What is that pain point that Eric was able to solve for me that I'm willing, like, okay, I know first and foremost, he did it for $100. His next class is $300. Guess what? I'm going to be in that class because I know the value that he's going to add for me if I'm offering something. So that might be something that you guys might want to do. So again, Eric already know that his client base, you guys who are his members, right? You guys are willing to pay $200. That's what you guys are willing to pay for your for the product that's offering. But his product might be $150. That might be what it costs them to bring it. So he's only really making $50 off of it, right? And if he can get 200 of you guys to buy it, right? So then now he can sell 200 unit of it to you guys. But then again, so then if he wants to make $20,000, you guys are still gonna help him bring in that $20,000 because of the fact that you guys see the value that's added. So then after that 150, if he offers something for $300, you guys are most likely gonna do that journey with him because you guys already know that he has your best interest in mind. All right. So again, you guys who do products or events or services, that's a strategy that you guys might want to use depending on who your market is. All right. I think that was all that I had for you guys. I do have a seminar. It's gonna be a Zoom seminar like I used to do when I used to travel, but unfortunately with COVID, I can no longer travel to do the seminars. So it would be based off all the pricing from start to finish. Also marketing and how to market your stuff. It's gonna be like, I think it's like a 3-hour Zoom seminar. So we would go over, you guys would be able to receive the pricing formulas for the spreadsheet for what I just went over for all of them, for all the different pricing strategies, and also the pricing formula that I have for the big dogs. Again, we're going to talk about the big dogs that want to make that money. We go over the pricing formula and we go over everything from start to finish. Whether you're offering product or service or whatever in between, we go over all of that. So I'll let you guys know when that is going to happen, and you guys can watch the replay if you're unable to join. Right now, I'm looking at maybe $97, because usually it's $197 if I do it in person. But since it's virtual, it'll be $97. So I'll let you guys know if you're interested. Again, you will get the whole spreadsheet that I just went over, plus the other pricing formula spreadsheet. So Eric, we can get together and see how we can incorporate that into your group and also my group. Again, if anybody has any question for me at all, you guys didn't understand something, hop in my inbox, let Eric know, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions for you guys. I know I talked a lot. I know it's a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Hey, I have a real quick question for you to help everybody out in the industry and the group. So a lot of people probably haven't asked, but it's probably there, and I've heard it being asked to me, is for people that are in the event design industry, what pricing structure do you recommend? Because there is so many, and
so
people
for the
use so
design
many different
again,
ones.
I would say for the design, first start off with, say, your hourly pricing. Use the hourly pricing so you can figure out exactly what your service fee would be, right? What it is gonna be for me to be your designer, right? Like, because you gotta do that. But then again, you're probably gonna do the product pricing again when we do the 3 times markup, 4 times markup, to figure out exactly what is it going to cost to actually produce that design for the client. So there's going to be 2 of them. The one that's the hourly rate, or you can do the project based. Okay, for this project right here is going to be X amount, especially if you've been in the business and that's your business and you've done it. You already know on average what things are going to cost. Then you can do the project base. But if you're just starting out, I would do the hourly rate for my service fee plus whatever it costs to do the design portion of it.
All right. Well, that sounds great. All right. So I don't see any other questions. Everybody saying thank you for your time. I really do appreciate you and appreciate you for coming and speaking to everybody in the academy. Of course, for everybody to know, and I will plug this back in, I will be in Ketline's group tomorrow, and I will be doing photography stand versus an actual stand that's behind me, which is the premium stand. The professional stand that we use. So I'll definitely be doing that. But Ketline, we really appreciate you for coming out tonight or coming on this live tonight with us, helping everybody out with prices. Like I said, there's so many different structures to it, so many different avenues and areas. So we really appreciate you. You are the pricing guru. You know your stuff. It shows.
I appreciate it. Thank you really so much for having me. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm excited. So now I can do. Are you gonna show the little hands over, or do I have to go in the premium? This is the premium leading into the premium.
I'll give you a small snippet. A small snippet.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good night.
All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
How do I do this? Oh.